Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Tom Spark. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about online criticism as a YouTube creator, perhaps how to deal with it. This could be a video giving advice to other creators, or even just kind of giving you my own perspective as a creator, as you yourself might be a viewer. Hey guys, if you want to help support videos like these, I really encourage you to check out my website, tomsparkreviews.com. This website has loads of interesting tools for creators, online entrepreneurs, or even if you're just a privacy advocate looking for a VPN. Go ahead and check it out. Click on some of the stuff there to help support the channel. And anyways, back to the video. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because throughout the years of being a YouTube creator, I've gotten a couple people commenting on my channel, people who are pretty dedicated to the amount of critical kind of response they give to my content. These kind of people may leave tons of comments telling me that they don't like my content, that I'm not right about this. These kind of people may be as dedicated to go inside my Discord server. They'll try to start fights with me, start arguments, try to convince me of one thing or the other. These people might just leave some kind of comment that's kind of nasty, telling me my content's not right. Or they might give me their opinion that, I'm biased, or that my opinion doesn't mean anything. Now, when I confront these people, usually they will almost always say that, they're being constructive, or they're giving me constructive criticism. And the fact that I'm not willing to put up with it somehow means that my character is somehow lessened and they're like, quote unquote, the good guy. I see this so often. I've even had people reach out to me saying, hey, why don't you respond to me anymore? I left you these comments. I was just telling you my opinion. Why don't you respond to me? I've had people beg to be rejoin my Discord server after I've banned them. I've had people complain to me that I've hidden their comments and stuff like that. And it's always like the question is, why can't you take criticism, or why aren't you responding to me? Now, I think this is a complicated question, and it's probably not even one that these type of people really think about as much as I have. And that's sort of why I'm making this video. Now, I think kind of the root of the problem comes down to people don't really understand what is just kind of like criticism and what is constructive criticism. I would say most people who are critical or maybe even toxic would probably consider themselves as being constructively critical, but I don't really think it is that. Constructive criticism is very detailed and nuanced, and I would say at the end of the day, constructive criticism comes from the point of view from someone who is trying to be helpful, someone who is like actually trying to give you advice to improve your channel, whereas someone who's just being critical is just trying to put you down, is just trying to give you their negative opinion or something like that, and there's not necessarily an edge to it that actually wants to help your channel. So take, for example, like this kind of idea. I could make a video about a review. Someone could watch the review and say, hey, I thought maybe some of your cuts were jumpy. I thought you could have improve those transitions a little bit. I thought this part was maybe too long. Maybe in the future, you might want to cut that part a little bit and make it just a little bit more seamless. And I think that would make a better video. I would say that is kind of like a constructive, critical comment. However, a different kind of comment, which I would consider more toxic / critical, with someone just being like, hey, I don't think I could trust your video. You just seem kind of biased or sponsored or something like that. Why should I trust you or something like that? That kind of comment doesn't really come from a place of trying to help the channel, trying to help the video. It's just kind of a comment of someone coming from a bad place already in terms of just being kind of there to criticize you and your content and not really helping in any way. Now, as a YouTuber, I've discovered my most effective way of dealing with these types of people is just to ignore them. Most of the time, if I get these kind of comments on my YouTube channel, I'll block or hide them. If I get these kind of comments in my Discord server, most likely I'll ban the person saying it. And this has kind of led to some people calling me or calling me out saying like, hey, he just doesn't know how to deal with criticism. He just wants to only talk to people who agree with him or something like that. Now, why am I exactly like that, and how would I respond to that criticism? Well, I think there are a couple different ways of looking at it. Well, firstly, I think that in these cases of people leaving these kind of comments and stuff like that, or looking to just kind of argue with you, you can sometimes argue with them and discuss things with them. And I would say a small percentage of the time, you can actually kind of get these people to change their perspective and kind of understand where you're coming from and maybe even make a friend. However, I've found that this is a small percent of the time, and it often doesn't work out that way, because if someone is coming from a place of criticism like that and the way they word things and stuff like that, most often you will just end up in a large argument with this person. Both sides probably will get upset and nothing is really achieved, and it's just time wasted. Because at the end of the day, I'm just kind of arguing with someone who's on the internet and probably is just doing it because they're bored, not because they're really that invested. Like I said before, when people are really invested, if they want to help your channel, they're going to spend the time in a detailed, nuanced way to give you actually good feedback that these other kind of commenters aren't going to give you. So when someone asks me, how come I just hide their comments, or how come I block them, or how come I don't let them participate in my community? Well, it's because they're not giving constructive enough feedback, and they're just kind of in the other category of it being a case where I could interact with them and give them attention perhaps, but I don't think it's really worth my time. Because at the end of the day, this is my YouTube channel. This is what I'm doing every day. It's kind of my choice to decide what kind of viewers, what kind of community I want to interact with. Do I want to interact with viewers and commenters who are kind of positive and giving me positive vibes? Or do I want to spend all my time interacting and giving attention to people who are already kind of negative and critical of my stuff? It doesn't really make me feel good to interact with these kind of people. And I do think it is my right as a creator, as someone who owns my business, to decide what kind of people I want to interact with. There is kind of this connotation that, oh, if you can't take criticism or something like that, you're like a baby. But I think that is kind of like shaming how people are. Some people respond well to any kind of criticism. They will take it in stride. Some people like to kind of fight against it. They want to create some kind of drama. They want to create some toxicity atmosphere where they're, giving people insults, giving them back, whatever. Some people just kind of respond or ignore it. And some people like myself just don't really want to see it. I think at the end of the day, as a creator, you have to decide for yourself what kind of viewers and what kind of community you want to interact with. For me personally, I like interacting with positive members of the community. Sometimes I do like interacting with constructive members of the community who have a little bit of criticism here and there, but overall seem to have an attitude of wanting to help me, not just kind of put me down or say something like, oh, like you're biased or something like that. Why should I trust you? These kind of people, I don't really find that it would be worth my time interacting with them. So if you're someone here on the channel who has been hidden or blocked or removed from my community or something like that, chances are is because you probably said some kind of critical comment that just didn't really make me feel that good. I prefer interacting with positive comments, positive reinforcement, because if you learn anything about psychology, you'll actually learn that negative reinforcement is not that successful on the brain. That's just the science of the fact. So in terms of me and my community, I'm going to interact with the positive people, the positive vibes, the people giving me positive comments, because that generally makes me more happy and I feel like makes my channel more successful. Anyways, guys, whether you're a YouTuber or a viewer, someone looking to change their perspective, I hope this video kind of been helpful to you in some way. Let me know down in the comments down below if it was, and I'll see you again very soon.